Hello and welcome again to another The Ace talk show, radio style. You know what to do, just open another window and listen on in. The topic today is going to be on merchanting. We're going to focus on the best ways to merchant and maybe the bad ways to merchant. I don't know, a little bit of commenting on both. Let's go with the best ways, of course. What you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go on the home page and go on the drop down tab of Game Guide and look for the Grand Exchange. Click on that and then it'll bring up the regular items that are going up and down, the most watched items or whatnot, and then you can research all your items that you're interested in there, whether you want to find out if they're selling, going up in price, or if they're dropping, or what the trend happens to be at the time. Now, with merchanting the best way, what you want to do is basically you want to help support like the other time zones. Now, US, a lot of people get on the game in US time mainly before and after school, or in the morning or late at night. So a lot of the times that main area of merchant is going to be during those time zones. Aussie's going to have a different time zone, Australia that is. Many different countries of course have their own time zones. Now what you want to do is find out or find an item that is basically leveled out. You don't want too much fluctuation in the price of the item. You want it to stay pretty constant as far as it might rise or lower by, let's say, 1K, maybe up or down 5K. The less the variation of the price, the better off it is to merchant for time zones to help out the game. Help out other people buy what they need during the different time zones. For example, let's say seeds. Find a seed that doesn't really go up and down too much, but it stays pretty well constant. Whether it be a herb seed, a watermelon seed, strawberry seed, whatever it may be. And then during your time zone, you're going to buy a certain amount of them. Either whatever the game allows at the max allow per every 4 hours or whatever it is, or just start with a small amount. Buy 10 at the lowest. See how quick you buy them, and then turn around and once you buy them, try to sell them at max at the highest, because there's somebody in a different time zone that is more than likely going to need that particular seed, but they won't be able to get it during their time zone because there's too high of a demand. Now, so you start off with 10 per se, and that works out. Well, great. So you do it again, except for you up your count. So you up it to 20, or maybe you want to try 50 or whatever it is. The main key is trying to find a good item or items that is being exchanged back and forth through the time zones. One time zone is going to be, a lot of players are going to be doing farming, or a lot of players are going to be doing rune crafting or combating or PKing or whatever. You name it. If there's interest out there during that time zone, more than likely a lot of people are going to be doing it per time zone, per area or per country or whatever. You just got to find the item that is going to be able to basically be flipped for that time zone. Now a really good merchant will not really change prices whatsoever. You're just you're helping balance it out. You're buying it for low, so many items for low, and then you're going to resell it high. So if the price were to drop down, well, that's because you're being able to buy it at low, and it wouldn't rise because you just got done buying it at low. So it's going to keep a balance. Now, different items, like I said, all depends on what you're interested in. If you're interested in the combat items, look through the combat items. Find an item that you think is going pretty well be steady. Don't try doing these high up priced things that are rising drastically. Use the Grand Exchange database, the GE database, on the home page and look through your items, sort it out. I know different players that use different things and they continuously make profit. They've never lost money off it. So, I mean, it is very well possible. Now, also important is the best type of merching is going to be able to be flipped basically 24 hours to 48 hour time frame. Now, of course, not everybody in the world can log in the game at once. Well, they can, but it isn't a normal occurrence. You're looking for the norm. So within 24 hours, you should be able to buy your item at low. And then 24 hours from that point in time, you should be able to resell at high. That means everybody on the game has logged in at least once. Everybody in the world that plays the game will log in at least once to buy an item that they need for their skill or for their combating or whatever it is they might be doing during their particular time zone. Now, at the worst, 48 hours. If you have to wait 48 hours, then more than likely it's not the best item to pick. I mean, if you don't really need GP or you're just doing it just to gain some extra GP on the side, then, whatever. That works, because 48-hour flip, at least you're constantly making money. You're not gaining, you're not losing, but you're only gaining in a 48-hour time period. But you're looking for a 24-hour time period. That's the best way to merchant. Right now, let's say try dragon hides. Not dragon hides, but dragon hide armor. Try different items, food items even. There's going to be a lot of fisher skill people on one time zone or two time zones, but yet there's not going to be a whole lot of people doing the fishing skill on another time zone, because all they're going to do is they're just buying it. They're doing a lot of combat, say Slayer or whatnot, so they're doing nothing but buying food, while you're going to be basically buying it to stock it up for that time zone. And that gets about a rough idea of the best type of merchanting you can do that helps out the game, helps out different time zones, because it stocks different time zones with the ability to buy it on demand for that particular time zone. For example, let's see, one I've done was actually steel bolts. Believe it or not, steel bolts. I was able to buy a whole bunch of steel bolts, actually 5,000 of them during one time zone at lowest, and then I resold them at highest during a 24-hour period and made money. Now, eventually that did wear out to the point where it wasn't really buying or selling at all, and it went to a 72-hour merchant, where I flipped it in 72 hours, and I wanted something a little bit quicker, so I found a couple more items in a 24-hour merge, and I've continued to run those items. I actually do have 2 items that I use all the time, and once I figured this out, what items they were or whatever for myself that worked good for me, I've never stopped doing it. I continuously make GP, never lost any GP doing it, just by simply having it in for a 24-hour period of time. Buying it, and then it always resold in 24 hours. And when I come back on the game, check it for that 24-hour period. Sometimes it's a lot sooner. I sold everything, and I could turn around and buy it right away. Because of time limitations or whatever, I wasn't on the game, and I didn't do it instantly. It was already stockpiled. They were basically waiting for me to pull it out of GE and then put another offer in to buy. I hope that helps give you guys a better idea of how to do the best type of merchanting. Remember, if you're going to use GE to merchant, it should not alter the price. Don't be trying to buy out a stock. Which brings up the worst type of merchanting. These merchant clans, family GP clan, or whatever it's called, Make Mills clan. There's a whole bunch of merchant clans out there. I'm pretty sure I don't have to tell you all which ones they are, or if you haven't already heard about them being spammed in the GE or in your private message or whatever. So yeah, merchant clans, I've already said in previous shows that they're nothing but bad news. If you haven't got it through your head yet, it's a pyramid scam. The guy that runs the clan is at the very top. He'll buy as many items as he can of that one particular item, and then he'll tell everybody else, alright, we're going to do a clan merchant. However, he's already got a stockpile that he bought at lowest way before he even set that item up for a merge that he's going to tell everybody else to start buying. So he's going to say, buy 100,000 strawberry seeds, and then he's going to turn around once he has all those at the lowest possible price that he could buy them. He's going to turn it into a merchant clan. He's going to tell everybody, buy up strawberry seeds. Keep buying them up. Buy them up until I tell you when. Once he reaches a price or doubles his money from where he bought them at, he'll sell all his while everybody else below him is still buying. So he's selling it to you. He's scamming you out of GP right straight off the bat. Once he sells over half of his, he'll turn around and then tell his people below him that are his friends, you know, to sell theirs. And then he'll turn around and have his friends tell their friends. And then, of course, you're going to have everybody else below them that are nothing but people that thought they could make money off a merchant clan, that after his buddies and all their buddies made the money, are going to turn around. They've already dried up their stockpile that they had. They've made their profit, and then they're going to tell you guys, okay, go ahead and dump. Well, guess what? It's not going to happen because nobody's going to be buying. You're going to dump, but nobody's going to be buying it. So you're stuck. You just bought at a whole lot higher rate because everybody else was buying it at the same time, which jacked up the price. So you just wasted a whole bunch of GP, and now you got all these strawberry seeds that you can't do nothing with other than plant them to grow, I guess. So, I mean, stay away from merchant clans. It's bad merchanting. Stay away from any merchant item you cannot personally use to raise your skills. That's about the only type of merchant clan, if any, that will have at least somewhat of your interest in mind. Is it's going to be an item that you can turn around and use yourself for a skill later on if you get stuck with it. Either way, just don't do merchant clans. Stay away from them. As long as everybody doesn't do it, they're all going to fail, and all the prices will go back down to where they're supposed to be at. Not no jacked up price like they are. Well, that's about all I got to say focused on merchant clans. Remember, the best type of merchant, you can 24-hour flip it, at most 48-hour flip, and you keep doing the same thing repeatedly over and over and over, and it doesn't change the price. You just gotta find the item that you're able to flip for your particular particular time zone. So if you're an Aussie, you're definitely going to have a different type of item compared to someone on the west coast of the US or someone over in the UK or whatnot. Each country or area is going to have their own particular item that they need a lot of but don't have unless we turn around on our time zone. That means there's no demand on our time zone, we can buy it for less. So 24-hour merch, search your items, do some research. Once you find your item, I'm pretty sure you'll be happy. Alright, well, until next time, have fun and good luck.